The anime Magical Senpai Part 2, we are introduced to Assistant, who is at the school lunch hall. He can't find any seats to sit but he sees Senpai. Senpai is all by herself. Assistant wants to avoid Senpai but feels guilty not going and eating by her. Then Senpai notices Assistant, so now he is forced to go sit by her. Senpai tells him that spoons are an excellent source of magic, and she gives Assistant a whole diagram on why spoons are good. She tells Senpai that spoons can be bent easy with magic with a simple magic trick. Assistant is able to bend the spoon, but Senpai is not able to, which we not surprised. Senpai continues to struggle to bend the spoon. With all the pressure she is adding, the spoon ends up flying and almost hit Assistant, but he is able to avoid it. He tells Senpai, "I will get you another spoon," but Senpai ends spilling hot sauce on his food. The sauce that Senpai spilt is not an ordinary hot sauce, it's the hottest hot sauce the school gives. Senpai begins to panic, as she not sure how to explain to Assistant about what happened. Senpai comes up with a plan. Senpai tells Assistant that she wants to try a magic trick called hypnosis on him. She begins to do hypnosis on him, saying the curry that he is eating is super hot. Assistant, thinking that Senpai is being silly, tries the curry. When he does, he screams in pain because the curry is super hot. Senpai tells him, "See, the magic trick worked." Now Assistant, not stupid, tells Senpai to try the curry, as he believes that the hypnosis didn't work but Senpai did something to his curry. Now Senpai forced, she tries the curry. We can see that Senpai is struggling as she begins to sweat. Her clothes are soaked in all sweat. Later during the day, Senpai and Assistant are both at the magic club. Senpai wants to show Assistant a magic coin trick, which Assistant believes that's a good magic trick to perform. But like any magic trick that Senpai ends up performing ends up failing, as we can see the coin ends up flying on top of a huge shelf. Assistant, being told to close his eyes by Senpai, does so. He believes that Senpai is going to kiss him, as why he is being told to close his eyes, which isn't the case. As Assistant has his eyes closed waiting for the kiss, Senpai performs the magic trick and ends up hitting Assistant with the coin. We can say that Senpai is a danger to Assistant. The next day Senpai introduces Assistant to a new member of the magic club, Behemoth the stuffed squirrel. Assistant believes that Senpai has no friends and is crazy. Senpai shows that Behemoth can move on its own and is alive, which isn't the case. We can see that Behemoth is stuck on Senpai breasts and she begins to panic as she is not able to get Behemoth out. Assistant, the pervert he is, gets closer to see more. Later Senpai wants to show Assistant a magic card trick with Behemoth. Senpai, once done preparing for the magic card trick, begins to perform the magic card trick. We can see by Assistant face that this is a lame magic trick. Behemoth picks the wrong card, which isn't as the card Assistant picked. Senpai begins to get angry and crazy at Behemoth for guessing wrong. Moments later Senpai knocks Behemoth off the table onto the ground without noticing what she has done. She suddenly notices Behemoth has disappeared and gets anxious. As she begins to look for Behemoth, she mistakenly steps on Behemoth and ends up crushing Behemoth. Senpai begins to cry. Assistant, not sure how to act, tries to comfort her over the stuffed animal, but it doesn't help as she carries on crying. Later in the afternoon as they are walking home, Assistant asks Senpai where Behemoth is. Senpai replies, "I left him in class as it's too much of a hassle to take him home." The next day in the park, we see Assistant is sitting on a bench. He gets a jump scare when he sees Senpai is next to him, tied up in ropes. He asks Senpai how she managed to get tied. She said she was with some kids, and performed a magic trick and it went wrong. Senpai ends up dragging Assistant to confront the kids. The kids are not too happy. The kids say that Senpai is annoying, and she can't perform magic tricks. They also say they will start a rumor of the annoying girl who can't perform magic tricks. Senpai tells the kids that her Assistant will perform some magic tricks in the meantime, as she going to perform a final magic trick after. Assistant, now forced, has to perform some magic tricks. He ends up agreeing. He makes use of Behemoth to some perform magic tricks. He tries to dupe kids to make them believe that Behemoth is real. The kids, not stupid, tell him to stop being fake. Senpai finally jumps in to perform her magic trick. She explains that she will be perform the magic clothes trick where she will able to change clothes while tied up. Senpai performs her magic trick. She ends up getting trapped and struggles to get out. By now we not surprised about Senpai magic tricks. The kids are now bored of Senpai's magic trick. The little girl asks assistant if he can help her with her video game, which assistant helps her. Assistant ends up playing video games with the kids. The kids are amazed about how good assistant is at video games. Eventually Senpai frees herself from the bag. She tells assistant there is a problem, she didn't bring any clothes to change into, so she is basically naked.